Rachel Joy Baribeau here, and it is season 5 of Sunday Soul. We took a little bit of a break and we paused on Sunday Soul because we wanted to tell you the story of something really amazing that's happened. And it started back in 2019. And it was the first mental health game that we hosted with Minnesota and Maryland as the host. And then what culminated at the beginning of October in the second mental health game we hosted between Maryland and Iowa. We wanted to take you on a journey behind the scenes of what went into these games, how we planned them, what it looked like on the road, in the meetings, behind the scenes. And this is that journey. So come with us on this journey. It was a beautiful one, and we're changing lives. Walking down that tunnel with Coach Loxley was really surreal. For 17 years, I have been the person on the outside of the tunnel. And so walking down that tunnel with my friend, Coach Mike Loxley, was kind of surreal and otherworldly. I got to walk in 2019 with Coach Fleck as well. But coming down and being able to rub Testudo's head, the turtle there for good luck. It was one of those pinch yourself moments, like, wow, is this really happening? It's almost hard to put into words when you walk out on a field and you see players wearing a shirt emblazoned with your message on it, with changing the narrative. When you see the first game between Minnesota and Maryland, and then the one that just happened, when you see the stickers and the ribbons on the back of the helmets, and you have buy-in from both coaches, from Coach Fleck and Coach Locks. You know, both of them have known loss so profound and so deep that no one would blame them. They never came back from it. These games had nothing to do with me. They were all about opening up conversations and destigmatizing mental health. And we did that. I think it'll be, when the day I die, it'll still be one of the things I'm most proud of in my life. The idea for the first mental health game came up in the summer of 2019, because I remember thinking, what if we had a game? What if we had a changing the narrative game? You know what? This would be awesome, right? If we had that. And so I remember going to Coach Fleck, I think it was August, and said, what if we had a changing the narrative game, a changing the narrative game focused on mental health? And I remember the text message was like, heck yes. And when we began planning it, it was between a few games, and the game with Maryland popped up. One, it's a conference game, but two, more than that, it's my friend Mike Loxley. So I said, if there's anybody that we want to do this with, it's him. And I remember also sending him a text, and the text came in like, whoo, like that. And it was yes. What do we do? Yes. Minnesota and Maryland are also unique, as well as a number of other programs across the country, where they're committed to having me in over and over and over again. So these games, I'm not some stranger walking the field. I'm not some stranger there in their hallways the week beforehand. They know me. I have an intimate relationship as a ma, coach, aunt to a lot of these players. I had a player recently say this to me, and it's happened both at Minnesota and Maryland as well. And he came up and said, I see you. You're really courageous. Thank you for standing up here and sharing your life with us. For the good, the bad, the happy, the sad. And what he did for me in that moment, what so many Maryland and Minnesota players have done for me, is they fill my cup back up. And they let me know I'm making a difference. They let me know it does matter. They let me know it is life-changing. They let me know my work is for something and that it touched them. The impact that every single one of those players at Minnesota and Maryland, and then Maryland and Iowa, had on little boys and little girls and big boys and big girls all over is, you can't even quantify it. To see a big bad football player take off their mask they wear for the world, and talk about their mental health and say mental health is as important as physical health. And by the way, your brain is a physical part of your body, so it is physical health. That's what I like to tell people. But to see their heroes, for young people and older people, the one they cheer on Saturday, to see their heroes get up on a PSA or wear a shirt. I remember a number of the Minnesota players afterwards use language in their tweets after the game, like, we changed the narrative, we took off the mask. That's how we change the culture. That's how we change the narrative, when somebody genuinely wants to do it and they know, look, it's changed my life. She's changed the way I thought about mental health. I'm having conversations about mental health. Whoever it is, I'm just part of the process of the overall change that's happening. So I remember a player at Minnesota, and it was the first ever full-on mental health talk that I gave, and it was just about a month and a half after I almost took my own life. And I remember one of the players came up to me afterwards and he said, "You made me feel less alone tonight. I've heard the voices too. You made me feel less defective tonight." I remember thinking, okay, your pain is not for nothing. It's for a purpose. And you can use it to change lives, Rachel. And so I know that player, and he knows who he is, and I know who he is. I know he wore that shirt with pride. To create a PSA, a public service announcement, again, pinch yourself moment. And then to say, this is not just the first year a Minnesota thing. We're going to reach out to Coach Loxley and Coach Fleck and Minnesota players and Maryland players, and I'm changing the narrative. And we're going to host a joint PSA on mental health so that everybody in that stadium, and then when we put it out on the internet, it feels less stigmatized, less uncomfortable talking about their mental health, more willing to ask for help. So that PSA, it would have been impactful if it was a Minnesota only PSA the first year, or this year a Maryland only. But the fact that two teams connected, both coaches, and they weren't mailing it in. All you have to do is watch them. You know, they're passionate about this. They're passionate about mental health of their players, their fans, their families, all of it. And it's just a willingness. It shows a willingness to hold hands to change the narrative on mental health. When I saw that PSA the first year, I just lost my mama. And they brought us out on the field. And they had the president and the AD and myself and other members of mental health leadership groups. I could just feel my mom say, "I'm so proud of you, my girl." Actually led me 24 hours later being 33,000 feet up in the air and crying like I am now, and retiring. And writing and pushing send on a retirement letter, because I, like any athlete, was worried about identity. I've been a sportscaster for so many years. I was worried about who I was beyond being a sportscaster, and it took somebody, my friend Gina Leahy, to talk sense into me like I talk sense in these athletes. You are more than a sportscaster. You are more than a sportscaster. I went to Mexico on a healing trip, one of the last places my mom and I went together. To say that seeing that PSA and planning that first game was special, would be a vast, gross understatement. So this is the first part of the journey, and boy, was it a journey. And now, next week, you get to go on to the next step of the journey, and that was the creation of the second I'm Changing the Narrative mental health game. You'll get to see a lot of the media that we did, the behind the scenes, what that looked like, and the impact that we were able to make through various media stops and media outlets that really supported us in ways that was just really amazing. We cannot do what we do without you, without your retweets, without your shares, without your comments, without your feedback, without you. Do you own a business? Are you a decision maker? Do you know a decision maker? Do you know a business that would like to partner with us for progress so that we can scale, we can grow, and we can touch more people? That is our goal. We would love to have a conversation with you about that. Go to I'mChangingTheNarrative.org. So we'll see you on episode 2.